What would you do if, for example, your lovely dog was drowning in the ocean? I'm sure most of us would rush into the water without even thinking to save the animal's life. And that's probably normal, given the strong bond between humans and pets. But what to do if a 200-pound bear drowns? Yes, friends, you didn't mishear that, and that's a whole other story. But believe me, the story I'm about to tell you today deserves not just your attention, but your respect. It all started when a big black bear walked into the backyard of a Florida residential building on a typical sunny day. Unfortunately, this is often the case. It is not uncommon for a bear to go to people in search of food, and given the fact that humans are building up new neighborhoods and taking more and more territory away from the forest dwellers, such cases are not uncommon at all. Of course, as you might expect, the owners of the house were frightened and the police were immediately called in to chase the bear away from their property. But as it turned out, the bear did not want to leave. The bear wandered cheerfully around the yard and looked with interest into the bags, studying the contents and not paying any attention to the people at all. After watching the flattering guests for a while, the police decided to shoot him with a tranquilizer dart. Basically, it was a common practice. It would not do any harm to the predator, but it gave people the opportunity to take the animal to a safe place. But at the time, no one could have imagined that the most routine call would soon turn into real mission, with a plot more like a heroic movie. After the dart hit the bear, the substance slowly took effect and the bear began to panic and, not knowing at all what was happening to him, ran not elsewhere, but straight to the ocean. He went into the water and swam, and the faster he swam, the stronger the tranquilizer worked on him. The bear swam until he began to fall asleep and drown. It just so happened that when the bear was already at the deep, the tranquilizer worked on him, fully putting him to sleep in the water right during the swim. It seemed that the animal was about to drown and that nothing and no one would be able to help it. Then something unexpected happened. A wildlife biologist, Adam Warwick, arrived on the call along with the police. His job was to monitor the animal's safe movement, and when he saw what was happening, he knew it was time to act, and act unconventionally. Adam quickly threw off his clothes and shoes and rushed into the water to save the huge predator. It took him a few seconds and the man was already next to the huge bear, one-on-one. Witnesses were simply shocked by everything that had happened. At that time, many onlookers had already gathered and filmed the whole thing on their phones. It was a decisive moment. "I had a lot of adrenaline in my blood when I saw the bear drowning in the water," Adam would later say. "I understood that the animal was innocent of anything. We were the ones who had came into its territory and it couldn't just drown, so I decided to act." Adam also knew that a 2-meter bear could just tear him apart in seconds, but that didn't stop the fearless biologist. By the time he got close to the bear, he was barely able to hold his feet upright, gradually sinking to the bottom. But at the same time, he would have been strong enough to give the man just one fatal kick. But its gaze was frightened, and this huge and strong animal seemed to understand that Adam had come for help. The biologist reacted quickly. He grabbed the bear by the neck and held its head above water. The bear, in turn, seemed to trust the strange 2-legged creature. It did not interfere with the man, but rather tried to help Adam. It was very difficult, but he did not give up. Everyone stood breathlessly watching as the man pulled the 200-kilogram bear to shore. Adam was still holding the slightly drunk bear, but at the same time, he was standing on his paws, just looking at the man with astonishment. It's also worth noting that the man was barely injured except for the scratches from the bear's paws and the cut on his leg with a seashell. The whole time, Adam was saying something in the bear's ear and the bear was looking at him. When the bear and Adam were near the shore, the other members of the team joined them. Then, Adam helped the bear to reach the beach, where an excavator was used to load the animal into a truck and take it back to Osceola National Park. The bear watched with open eyes. He was very nervous because he knew something was wrong, but at the same time he could not control his body. But when Adam walked over to the car with the bear and stroked him, he calmed down, lying down peacefully as if he knew his rescuer had no intention of harming him. After the bear had recovered, he looked much better than he was in the water. Adam's team was reassured that the bear was okay after the predator had become more active. The bear wandered around the people in the vehicle and, as if to say thanks to the rescue team, turned around the vehicle a few times before disappearing into the bushes of the protected area. Journalists soon showed the story of the poor bear and the brave man who risked his life to save the animal on national television. The man's gesture was appreciated by millions of people around the world. I just knew he had to be rescued, and I also knew I was taking a big risk, but that didn't stop me. If I didn't do that, the bear would have just drowned because of our fault. Of course I couldn't let that happen, the hero later says. At the same time, Adam says that we should never do this on our own as the bear is a dangerous predator with immense power in its paws. That's the story. Friends, write your comments and what do you think of such a man's action?